so you've had a unique journey securing investment. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, it was annoying. I'd say that's the first part. When we went out to raise investments for our seed round, on paper, our business looked incredible. It had grown, 10x plus from the year before. It wasn't burning money. It was continuing to grow. Margins are good. They're not as good as like most dietary supplements where they see like stupid margins. Unfortunately, dihydroamyresin's hundreds of dollars a kilo, whereas vitamin C is like $5 a kilo, just to put this in perspective in terms of cost.
Wow.
But it was a good, fundamentally sound business that was growing like wildfire, right? So if you looked at it on paper, any investor in the world would want to buy into it, right? However, what would end up happening is we would talk to the investor. Usually it's sort of a lower member of the team, right? Such as an associate. The associate collects all the data, and then they bring that to a partner or someone higher in the firm. And sometimes you get the partner meetings right off the bat. It all depends on who intros you. And so we'd always have these like really positive first and second calls. And then basically you get this email that says, hey, we're really sorry, but, we actually just found out that our firm can't invest in the category because of LP restrictions. Or, one of our partners feels that this category being alcohol-related health supplements or drugs, isn't a good fit for them. And so ultimately, we had some friends that, run venture capital groups and so forth, and they basically explained to us, yeah, this can all come down to basically reputational risk.
Wow.
So even though you have a fundamentally sound business that's better than most of the businesses that they're looking at day to day, what's happening as a partner there is deciding, it's a great business, but our job as investors, what we hope to do is raise a new fund life. So every 5 years, venture capital investors go raise another fund life from universities, family offices, state pension funds, churches, et cetera. And when they go raise those funds, what those institutions that are investing into their institution are doing is looking into their portfolio.
Gotcha.
And so basically these partners are looking at the company going, oh, I don't know if I want the company in my portfolio purely because it's alcohol related.
Just optics.
Just optics. That's all it was. And so that's the most frustrating thing, where you can have a slam dunk business and also a very ethical business and yet have people not invested in you because of this reputational risk or optics.
Wow. And so you initially started with a seed round.
Yep.
And how much was that?
So, we did an angel round.
Angel round.
So
Okay.
first it was sort of a friends and family round. Then we did a $200,000 angel round from a single angel investor. And then we did a $2.1 million seed round from these institutional investors.
Wow. And throughout that process, that seems like an emotional roller coaster. How was that process, and what were some things you learned from it?
Yeah, I think as sort of an entrepreneur, now that I've gone through fundraising once, I think the first time you go through fundraising, you have a great call with somebody, and then you have a second great call with them, and then you get one of these emails that's so depressing or something, right? And as a founder, you're like, oh, this is the end of the world, right?
Sure.
But then you end up looking like, now, so that we'll be going out for a Series A, I was just sort of building out our sort of investor database, and, we'll start with 5 investors that were interested and then go to the next 5 and so forth, right? And it ends up sort of being a surface area or a numbers game, right, at the end of the day, right? And obviously you want to go with the investors that you have the best fit with. But you look at it and go, there's like 1,500 venture capital firms in the United States alone, right? Controlling something like $100+ billion. It's actually probably more than that. I haven't looked at it in a little while.
Wow.
But you realize there's about 4,000 people that I could talk to. Now, some are investing in blockchain and would never invest in your company and so forth. But I think my point of view, right, is that investors, you have to impress them. You have to treat them right. If these people end up backing your business, they're going to become really great business partners that you need to have a really good relationship with, but they make mistakes all the time, right? They build portfolios where they're trying to have a few companies that go to 100 million plus, or if it's a really big fund, like they can only go to like $300 or $400 million, right? And then they have a lot of companies that go to zero, which means that they're kind of like baseball players. They strike out, or they don't get a hit far more often than they do get a hit, right?
Absolutely.
And if you actually look at the track record of entrepreneurs, generally speaking, it's like an entrepreneur, if they do start like 3 or 4 businesses, one of those businesses ends up doing really, really well. So entrepreneurs have a better track record than sort of investors. And so when you kind of look at it, you realize, hey, these are imperfect people making decisions on less than complete data.
Yeah.
And so you learn that you shouldn't really take it personal, because it's not like these people are, demigods running around or super geniuses or anything. They're humans as well.